Okay, so if you're planning on getting a new gaming mouse because your old one is broken, you needed a lot faster gaming mouse for your gaming style, or you just simply wanted a very lightweight gaming mouse that doesn't compromise the integrity of the build quality, you may have encountered these designs with holes along with the words magnesium alloy. Let's talk about it. Back then, I've been seeing a lot of companies making these gaming mice with holes in all sorts of shapes and geometry. I've never brought myself to test one because I always thought that I didn't need them, and there's not going to be any difference from these solid shell gaming mice, but I just got intrigued over the years, and luckily Eweadn sponsored this gaming mice right here. This is their L1 Pro. I get to keep this mouse, but that doesn't affect my opinion about the product. Anyways, what is magnesium alloy? Magnesium alloy is a metallic material that is primarily composed of, well, magnesium that is then enhanced or enriched with other metallic materials to, improve its properties. But why do we need it? Why do we need a gaming mouse with materials that you can literally find in the automotive and aerospace industries? Well, it is composed of metal. The heat dissipates a lot quicker and more effectively, giving you a much better gaming experience on long extended use. And since this has a lot of holes, the air can move around inside, cooling the parts and ultimately preventing your hand from sweating. I've seen a lot of comments on some YouTube videos saying that holes on gaming mice compromise the integrity of the build quality, and personally, I agree. Subtracting material from a thing does make it weaker, but that statement no longer implies to these kinds of gaming mice. The shell is a lot tougher and rigid, and just purely holding this in my hand, give it a little squeeze and the difference is just night and day. In ABS gaming mice, you can sort of hear this little squeak and you feel these little plastic movements. The drawback of the holes on the shell though is if you accidentally spill water on this, the water can easily reach the chips and the circuit boards compared to gaming mice with solid shells. What I have here is the blue and purple gradient for the Pro variant, and you can also pick the gradient gray. For the non-Pro variant, we have the meteorite and liquid silver, which I think are the Pro colorways, to be honest. Eweadn also did a pretty amazing work on the paint job. I mean, just look at this. It's very smooth and the color itself looks well intended. It also has this nice smooth texture for a better grip, and you can actually feel the metallic qualities of this gaming mouse. The color and the finish does not attract oil marks, which is a major plus for me. It always looks pretty and clean on my desk mat. The Pro variant is priced at 4,700 Philippine peso or roughly $80 and the non-Pro variant costs $6 less. Symmetrical mice are just super versatile for every grip technique, whether it be palm, claw, or fingertip grip. Symmetrical gaming mice can cater to any of it. This has a low shell height, better allowance for those micro adjustments for people with large hands that use claw grip and fingertip grip. For people with large hands that use palm grip, it may be a little awkward though, as this mouse is really small. I have relatively large hands and I just don't see it working out for me. But the middle width is a little wider than some of the gaming mouse that I have personally tried, and it doesn't have much curvature, and I think it's a great compensation for the small body. For people with small hands with palm grip though, this gaming mouse will be a treat. Also, if you're gonna use this with a claw grip or fingertip grip, Your trigger finger will naturally rest on this part right here, as you can see. The switches are way out in the front, and on other gaming mice you would expect it to have heavier tactile force needed to click the button, but surprisingly the click still feels light even on the rear ends of the buttons. They've done a pretty great job with the left and right button balance. On paper, this mouse weighs 49 grams, but upon checking it turned out to be 55 grams. A bit of difference there than advertised, but me personally, any gaming mouse that falls lower than 65 grams is considered lightweight. I almost forgot to mention the RGB. This gaming mouse doesn't really have evident RGB glow because it only shines through on the front side and through the scroll wheel. I believe the primary buttons are the ones glowing underneath there. The primary buttons, or the left and right buttons, are very clicky. I love the tactile feedback. Although it has a little bit of pre-travel, it doesn't make the click feel mushy. The clicks are very light as well and high-pitched. These are the Omron transparent green shell white dots with 100 million click lifespan. The side buttons are very responsive as well, with a much deeper tactile sound. They do not have much pre-travel, so they feel very snappy and sacky. The scroll wheel is a bit of a letdown for me. It has this loud scrolling sound that gets a little too loud sometimes. It's not the infuriating sound, just a little rattling noise you hear when scrolling. The bottom part is plastic with a different color than the shell. There are holes as well, and here you can find the connectivity switch and the DPI switch button. You can also find the 2 gold contact points for the wireless charging dock. 3 premium PTFE skates that glide really well on my fabric mousepad. In the center is the PAW 3395 sensor that is built for intense gaming. Paired with PAR 2862 MCU, this gaming mouse has features fit for a professional player. With the PAW 3395 comes the motion sync technology, which is just basically angle snapping but makes the overall movement smoother, avoiding any aim overshoot. I found motion sync to be perfect for games that require you to aim track your target like Call of Duty, PUBG or Apex Legends, but I don't require it for games that require you to move your mouse at a much faster rate, or what we like to call it a flick. It just feels like my aim is not as accurate as with raw input. It feels a little floaty, so I just turn it off. PAW 3395 is not the newest, most recent sensor out there today, but this thing packs a punch with its 8000 Hz of polling rate both on wired and wireless mode, maximum DPI of 26,000 with a maximum tracking speed of 650 IPS and acceleration of 50 grams. Once again, 8000 Hz of polling rate is such an overkill feature. Personally, I do not use 8K Hz at all. I mainly stay on the 2000 Hz polling rate. Some even say that 1000 Hz is enough even for competitive gaming. 4000 Hz is just taking it too far, and 8000 Hz is just an overkill. As you may have seen on the test, 2000 Hz gave us the best average polling rate. Also, lower polling rate can save battery, giving you more time gaming and less time charging. But 8000 Hz of polling rate being an overkill feature doesn't mean you shouldn't use it. Those features will only shine if you have a higher refresh rate monitors. Those higher numbers should be enough. This gaming mouse is tri-mode capable, starting out with wired mode, which also charges the 500 mAh battery that lasts a good 8 days on a single full charge. You can also charge it using the charging dock, which also happens to be the 2.4 GHz wireless dongle itself. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about it. It conveniently, charged the mouse, but if you plan on using this mouse on a different PC, then you need to bring the charging dock always with you. Eventually, you will lose this sticky adhesive on the bottom. Of course, you can connect it using Bluetooth, but Bluetooth only has like 125 Hz of polling rate, so that's automatically out of the picture. Anyways, let's talk about the software. You can find it from Eweadn's official website, which I will have linked down below for quick access. It is made by Eweadn specifically for this mouse. It's fairly easy to understand. You have the button remapping, adjusting the DPI setting as well as the polling rate. Also, remember to adjust the polling rate right after getting this mouse because it's only on 125 Hz by default. I don't really understand why. You can also create your own macros, adjust the lift-off distance, enable ripple control and angle snapping as well as the motion sync, and we also have here the sensor modes, which is the first time I've actually saw this on a gaming mouse software. We also have the sleep time. We can also control the pointer speed for Windows, the scrolling speed, and double click speed. It was such a nice experience having to try out, these gaming mice with these holes. The build quality is amazing and I'm sure that this mouse can definitely last long. With proper care, it can definitely outlive any gaming mice you currently have. The holes really do help with the grip. It kind of like subconsciously gives you a better control over the gaming mouse, especially on the sides where your thumb, your ring finger and pinky finger rests. I believe that the price is justified since this is made with the lightest and one of the most durable materials there is. Holding it for the first time and gaming with it for days, this little mouse can compete with the highest names in the esports scene.